FPL Gameweek 17 team selection. What is up everyone, how's it going? FPL Era here and welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. Another eventful week in Gameweek 16. The main talking points is that potential ban for Cunha. I have already used one free transfer to get ahead of the price changes, and there is a big possibility I could be looking at taking a -4 or -8 hit. In today's video I'm going to show you how I fit out in Gameweek 16, and we're also going to look at my transfer plans and team selection ahead of the Gameweek 17 deadline. We've lots to discuss, let's get into the video. So before we get into today's video, quick reminder as always to give the video a like. Let's hit a like goal of 70 likes on this video, so head on down there, drop the video a like, and if you are watching this and you're not subscribed, what are you at? Head on down there, click subscribe. We're trying to hit 7,200 subs before Christmas. If you are watching and you're not subscribed, head on down there, click subscribe on the channel and help me reach that milestone, and then make this Irishman very happy in time for Christmas. So here's a quick look back to Gameweek 16. I scored 54 points at the game week. A bit of a mixed week for the team, but we did get the captaincy call right, going Mo Salah over Cole Palmer. It wasn't looking great at the start of that Liverpool game with Robertson getting sent off. Wasn't that hopeful of Mo Salah getting a few returns with Liverpool down to 10 men, but thankfully he got that assist early on in the second half. Probably could have came away with a few more returns, but 10 points from the Iron Man in that game. I wasn't looking forward to that Chelsea game on Sunday evening. Thankfully Cole Palmer drew a blank, but he did manage to pick up a bonus point late on Monday night, so he came away with 3 points from the Iron Man. Salah scoring 2 more points than Cole Palmer, but at least the captaincy call was right between the two. My transfer of Isak for Haaland paid off massively, with Isak coming away with a goal and assist for a lovely 11-point return, and more importantly Haaland drew a blank, with United coming away with all 3 points at the Etihad. There were some concerns before the deadline whether or not Gabriel was going to start that Everton game. We waited until the deadline stream to make our moves, and thankfully he passed a late fitness test and was named in the starting lineup, and himself and Raya came away with a clean sheet, and Gabriel picked up all 3 bonus points for a combined score of 17 points from my 2 Arsenal defenders. Unfortunately, Saka made it 2 blanks in a row. He's up against Crystal Palace this weekend, so fingers crossed he can come away with a return after a rest in the cup last night. There was definitely some mixed emotions with my 2 Wolves players, with Cunha picking up a goal in normal time and coming away with all 3 bonus points for a 9-point return, only for then, after the full-time whistle, he attacked one of the Ipswich staff, elbowing him in the back of the head, and he now looks likely to serve a ban for those actions after the full-time whistle. And then with Nori, he was on a yellow card during the game. He picked up a second yellow card after a row at the lap after the full-time whistle. He'll now be suspended for that Leicester game, and because he picked up 2 yellows after the Leicester game, he'll still be on 4 yellow cards. So there's every chance he could serve a second suspension before the new year. To finish off, there was some disappointing returns once again from João Pedro and Morgan Rogers, with them both drawing a blank. João Pedro making it 3 blanks on his last 4 games, and Morgan Rogers making it 4 blanks in his last 5 games. So some slight question marks around what I should be doing with those 2 players, but we'll chat about that later on in the video. All in all, 54 points for the week. Wasn't the worst score at all. A bit of a mixed week as I said, but I did get a massive green arrow, moving from 120k overall to 120k overall. Managed to get a small green arrow of a couple of 100 places. At least it was a green arrow, but that means we've got 1 more week to get inside the top 100k, so fingers crossed we can do that. With that review out of the way, let's move on now and have a look at my transfer plans ahead of the Gameweek 17 deadline. So the big question amongst FPL managers this week is what to do with Matheus Cunha after he has been charged with misconduct following the scenes after the final whistle of the game between Wolves and Ipswich at the weekend. He does have until today, the 19th of December, to appeal this decision, or at least give a response. Where does that leave us as FPL managers? Well, first off, I'm expecting Wolves to appeal this decision, especially with that massive game against Leicester. That's going to be a 6-pointer in Wolves' season, so I'm expecting them to appeal this decision at least, and then worry about the lengthy ban thereafter if he does get charged by the Premier League. So if you do own Cunha like myself, it then raises the question, what should you be doing with him? Should you be keeping him? Should you be transferring him out? I'm going to give you the boring answer. All we can do is wait until we get a response from the Premier League. When Kudos, Gibbs White and Bentancur were all charged, after the date they gave the response, they weren't charged until a couple of weeks after, or in Bentancur's case, he wasn't charged until a month after. So I do think Cunha should be okay for the weekend's game, whether or not the Wolves manager wants to have him in the squad after his actions after the final whistle against Ipswich, but that's the manager's decision. Fingers crossed he will be alright for the Leicester game, so that can avoid me taking a hit this weekend. But as I said, we're going to have to be boring and just wait until we get the news from the Premier League. So looking ahead to Gameweek 17, here's how my current team is shaping up ahead of the weekend's games. Currently 120k overall. As I said, we're trying to get inside the top 100k. 1 week to go until Christmas, so fingers crossed we can get inside the top 100k with a nice green arrow this week. Starting off on goals, we've got David Raya away to Crystal Palace in that late kickoff on Saturday evening. The Arsenal defence has been doing well over the last couple of weeks. 3 clean sheets in their last 5 games. Fingers crossed they can make it 4 clean sheets in 6. Even with Gabriel, he is back from injury then as well, and even when he missed out on that United game, had to get Mikalenko coming in off the bench for that 11-pointer back during the midweek game. So the Arsenal double defence has been paying off so far, and hopefully we can get another clean sheet. The addition of Trent Alexander-Arnold into the team last week didn't pay off as much as I hoped it would, as Liverpool did concede twice at home to Fulham. But he's up against Spurs away from home this weekend, followed by Leicester at home and then West Ham away before the end of the year. So I'm expecting at least 2 returns over these 3 games, and fingers crossed he can start off a return away to Spurs. He did pick up an assist in the cup game last night, and he only played 45 minutes, so that's good to see. At least he didn't get injured also. So all eyes on the Spurs again this weekend, and fingers crossed we can get a return. With Aït-Nouri suspended this weekend, he moves to the bench and Davies subs into the team. He's up against Newcastle at home this weekend, so I don't think I want to play him in my starting 11 this week. He's just a placeholder for now, and I am eyeing up a defensive transfer this weekend, but we'll chat about that later on in the video. So moving on to my 4-man midfield, I do have the midfield premium in Bukayo Saka, Cole Palmer and Mo Salah. Each of these 3 players are playing away from home this weekend, but they are playing in fixtures they can easily return well in. Starting off with Bukayo Saka away to Crystal Palace in that late kick-off on Saturday evening. No return for Saka in his last 2 games since I brought him into the team. Well, I'll be hoping himself and that Arsenal team are looking to bounce back after their disappointing draw against Everton at home last weekend. He did play 20 minutes in the Cup last night, and Crystal Palace were pretty much full strength in that game last night. So a good rest for Saka. Not so much good rest for that Crystal Palace team, and that should point towards some Saka returns this weekend. Mo Salah's up against Spurs in the late kick-off on Sunday, and he currently gets the armband in the team. He's returned in his last 8 games. He's only blanked twice all season, returning in 14 of the 16 games so far. What a season he's having, and that's the reason he gets the armband. Also, Spurs play Man United in the Cup tonight, so Salah will be fully rested, and I'm pretty sure Spurs will be full strength or close to full strength in that Cup game tonight. So I'm expecting Salah to cause some damage in that late kick-off on Sunday. If you're not locked in on your captaincy decision and you're still deciding between Mo Salah and Cole Palmer, it is a close call on the captaincy, but Cole Palmer is up against an Everton side who have kept 4 clean sheets in their last 5 games, and Everton ranks 2nd for the best defence in the league, just after Arsenal for expected goals conceded since Gameweek 10. I do expect Cole Palmer to get a return in that Everton game, but looking at Mo Salah, there's more chance of a massive haul there, especially with all those injuries to the Spurs defence and the fact that Spurs play tonight in the Cup. Morgan Rogers completes my 4-man midfield for now, and he's up against an out-of-form Man City side in the early kick-off on Saturday. 4 blanks in his last 5 games is far from ideal, especially when there's a lot of other budget enablers outperforming him with the likes of Ahmad and Enzo. He's in the team for now, but we'll chat about my transfer plans later on in the video and whether or not I'll be looking to keep him or get rid this week. Moving up front, Alexander Isak, João Pedro and Matheus Cunha complete my starting 11 for now. Starting off with Cunha, we already spoke about his situation earlier on in the video, so we are still waiting for an update from the Premier League, but he's in the team just on the basis if he does play that Leicester game, I do think he can return well in that game. We just have to take it that he is going to play, but if he is banned for the weekend's games, I'll chat about my transfer plans and my top replacements for Cunha later on in the video. On to João Pedro then, he's up against a West Ham side who have failed to keep a clean sheet in their last 4 games, conceding 10 goals in the process. But on João Pedro, he's failed to return in 3 of his last 4 games, which is far from ideal, but with the fact he's up against a leaky West Ham defence, I'll be hoping he can come away with a return. Alexander Isak completes my current starting 11. He's off the back of a goal and assist in Gameweek 16, and he's up against an Ipswich side who've only kept 1 clean sheet all season, so we'll be expecting Newcastle to get a few goals in that game, and fingers crossed Isak can be involved. He played 77 minutes in the Cup game last night. I was surprised he played that many minutes, especially with Wilson injured, but at least he came away from that game injury free, so he'll be fit for the weekend. That's my current starting 11 for now. Let's move on and have a look at my transfer plans ahead of the Gameweek 17 deadline. So looking at my transfer plans ahead of the weekend's games, this transfer on screen here has been made. I did click confirm on this on Monday night just to catch the price rises. Aït-Nouri was falling in price and Robinson was rising in price. So I made this transfer to save myself 0.2 of a million, and Robinson has made his way into the team. Looking at Robinson then, he's got 3 assists in his last 3 games. He's playing in a very attacking Fulham side and he's doing very well over the last couple of weeks, and he's up against Southampton at home this weekend. So I do think this is a fixture Robinson can easily return well in, especially on the attacking front. And to add to this also, he's got Bournemouth and Ipswich at home over his next 4 games also, in between Chelsea. Fair enough, he might get something out of the Chelsea game, but those 3 fixtures at home for Robinson are fixtures he could easily return well in, and that's why I brought him into the team. So I have only 1 free transfer, and that transfer has already been used to bring Robinson in for Aït-Nouri. But if Cunha is suspended for that Leicester game, I'm going to be forced to take a hit and take out Cunha, and it will be the homecoming of Chris Wood back into the team. Obviously, if you've enough money to bring in Isak or Jackson as your other striker, I prioritise bringing in Isak or Jackson. Isak first, Jackson second. I already have Isak, but I don't have enough money for Jackson, so that's why I'm looking to the next best option in Chris Wood. And Nottingham Forest are in good form at the moment, and they have a nice run of fixtures up until Christmas and thereafter into the new year also, so I'm happy enough to bring Wood back into the team. With Aston Villa playing in the early kickoff on Saturday, I will be waiting for some early team news, and if Rodgers is potentially not starting in that City game, I could be forced into another transfer and potentially taking a -8, taking out Rodgers and bringing in Ahmed. To be honest with you, I wouldn't mind bringing in Ahmed. Before Nori got suspended, I was always looking at bringing out Rodgers and bringing in Ahmed. And then, of course, Ahmed got that goal and assist against City, which skyrocketed his price. He's now at 5.2 million. But I might refrain from taking the -8. It all depends whether or not Rodgers is starting in that early kickoff. If he isn't, I'm probably going to be forced into taking a -4, -8, depending on the Cunha situation. And Ahmed will be coming into the team. But I'm not too fussed about that, as United have a nice run of fixtures over the festive period and into the new year also. So this is how the current setup is looking like ahead of the weekend's games. Robinson has come into the team. That transfer is confirmed. I'm still deciding whether or not to take a -4 or a -8. It all depends on what happens around the Cunha situation and whether or not Rodgers is starting in that early kickoff on Saturday. If you've made it to the end of this video, please give it a like, drop a comment below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's hit a like goal of 70 likes on this video, so head on down there, drop the video a like, and if you are watching this and you're not subscribed, what are you at? Head on down there, click subscribe on the channel. We're trying to hit 7,200 subs before Christmas, so if you haven't done so already, head on down there, click subscribe and support the channel and help me reach that milestone in time for Christmas. You'll be making this Irishman very happy if we do. I'll see you all on Saturday afternoon for a Gameweek 17 deadline stream where I could potentially be taking a -4 or a -8. Let's see how that plays out. Thanks for watching. Best of luck for the week. I'll see you in the next video.